a lot of times, they want to feel important. They want your attention to feel important. It's like, I would just say, like, some people will like it's trolling. There you go. That's the word. Some people will troll you on purpose that really like you. They will troll you. Like, I have a friend, I'm not going to say his name, but he trolled rappers on purpose to get their attention. He would say, like, people that he liked, it was like, your music sucks. And he really liked it just to get them to respond to him. It was just crazy. I was like, that's a weird formula because they're not going to like you anymore. But some people get their high off of making other people feel low, right? Some people get their high off of making other people feel low. And I feel like, as we just talked about, the best response is love, is a smile. Haters hate when they can't take the smile off of your face. Haters hate that. When you smile through it, when you give a heart emoji back to someone telling you to, take your own life. They can't stand that. And I always make sure of this truth. I make sure I give the opposite response than what they expected me to say every single time. Even if I don't want to do it, I'm going to give you the opposite response. I'm going to be like, man, so if you crack jokes and be like, hey, Trent, you look like this, and some stuff be funny. Like, I had somebody on YouTube make a parody video of me, and it was literally funny. And I think he was doing it to like make me mad, but he really made me laugh. Like, it was funny. It was really good. And I like wrote in the comments, like, this was great. Like, can I post it? And he was like offended by that because I didn't give him the response that he wanted. So get to a place where, I don't want to say you don't take yourself seriously, because I don't want to give the wrong impression on that. Don't take it out of context, but get to a place where you're like so good with yourself, when you're so secure with yourself that you can laugh at it. Like when it's funny, because you know it can't stop you at the end of the day. So I'm always going to smile through it. So like, if any of y'all can test me with this. Like, I know you guys like me, but you can test me. You can send me a message of hate. If I do respond, it's going to be the direct opposite of what you expect. And last but not least, before I take a few questions, last but not least, I talked about jealousy, but I want to leave you with this quote. Some people will hate on you or hate you just because of the way other people love you. Some people hate you just because of the way other people love you. I've noticed that. Like, I've noticed where some people don't have a problem with you at all until other people love you, until other people be like, oh man, I love Trent, I love his work, or I love Sally, or hope it's a Megan in here, or Matthew, I love Matthew, he's so great at what he does. And some people want that attention to be them, especially if it's from a person that they want attention from, that makes them bigger. That makes them bitter, right? It's like, what they say is like, hate is, or jealousy is like, drinking your own poison, expecting the other person to die. It's like that. Like, and when it comes from people that you want to hear good graces from and you want to hear support from, and they're not giving it to you, but they're talking about someone else, like, you get tired. Like, that's why we see like the hero become the villain, because you get tired of seeing people win. Like Floyd Mayweather, whether you like him or not personally off the boxing ring, like, that's a whole nother, but in the boxing ring, he's the GOAT. He hasn't lost. Whether you say, oh, he runs too much, people don't like Floyd Mayweather because he wins. If Floyd Mayweather was a loser, you think people would be talking about him? Absolutely not. So people hate the hero. People want to see the hero become the villain. It's just, that's a part of American or the world's way of working. It kind of sucks. But if you're on top for too long, and that doesn't mean like in society, but if you're on top in your family or your friend circle for too long, people are going to get tired of seeing you win. They want to see the mistake. There's people literally right now that's waiting for me to make a mistake, waiting for me to fall off so they can say, like, I told you so. Like, I knew it. I was waiting for it. And so you have to realize that when it comes to that, like, some people just don't want to see you win, or just don't want to see you keep winning. Fans turn into haters all the time.
Do you have any advice for someone who might have to deal with haters in their family?
Yeah, so haters in your family. I don't have any haters in my family. Not in my immediate family, I don't think. But distant family, I feel like I've had some, like some I'll just say third cousins. I don't want anybody to take any offense to that, just in case they might. I don't know if some of my family's in this inner circle or not. But again, you have to just understand where it comes from. And it's hard when it's somebody close to you, when it's somebody you expect to support you, somebody you expect to uplift you. But you just have to understand where it comes from. And you have to go through that same process of asking yourself those questions. And at the end of the day, something I've always talked about, that even if all your family supported you and you're trying to do something uber successful, it's not enough. right? I know it feels better when you have somebody you look up to and you love supporting you, but you don't need their support to be successful. And again, is it true? If it's not true, then let your character respond. You know, there's people, I'll tell you about an incident that happened in high school. I'm not gonna get too in depth in it, but my high school girlfriend, we went to prom and we had a bad situation, like a bad situation. We got in a car wreck. She was abusive. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, if you saw this, it's true. She was abusive, like in a situation, abusive. And I don't mean like she was beating me up all the time, but we had a situation at prom, and to make a long story short, she punched me in my eye. And I didn't deserve it. Maybe I was being too nonchalant over something, but I didn't deserve it. Punched me in my eye. So we're driving home and we get into a car wreck. It's raining and I'm trying to like fend her off. And luckily I had not even a friend in the car. Her best friend was in the car, but the guy she brought to prom, lucky he was there, because people would have thought this of me. So I'm like fighting her off, trying to drive. It's a red light. I stop. The people behind us know that we are like arguing. And so they're following us close. It's a rainy night. We stop her at the light. Person behind us, I feel bad for her too. New car, senior prom, boom, her car is totaled. So we pull over. I can't believe I'm telling this story. It's just like straight up for real. We pull over and I'm expecting her to like, you know, apologize, whatever. And she's like cussing me out, all this stuff. People stop and people think I'm already the bad person. I'm the man in the situation, so I had to do something wrong. Police came. Her dad comes to my house because the story she told people was that I hit her, right? And I'm the one who went to school with a black eye. I'm like, if I hit you, you wouldn't be picture perfect. And so that was the thing that she was telling. That was the narrative she was telling everybody. Her mom would come up to school and tell everybody like, oh, Trent hit her, and everybody was saying, oh, Trent's a woman beater. And far from the truth, I've never hit a woman in my life. And luckily, the guy in the car stood up for me. He's like, I was in the car the whole time. Trent didn't lay a hand on her. And it's funny because it took like months, right, for her to apologize and come out with the truth and say that. And I say all that to say, I let my character respond. You know, even people like that wanted to believe it was hard for them to believe because they knew my character. And so I could have fought hate with hate. I could have fought fire for fire. But I just said in silence, I'm going to let my character respond. I'm going to let God handle all that. And God ended up handling all that. And to this day, her mother just saw my mother, like, it's like 15 years later, saw my mother and still apologized for that, because they tried to ruin my name based upon a situation because she didn't want to face her truth. And so I say all that to say, respond with truth. And hopefully, you know, you being the light and you giving love will change their heart, because that's what we need more in this world. That's a great question.
I do have something.
What's up?
So you're talking about dealing with the 10% of hate.
Yeah.
Can you remember a time when that first affected you, and kind of how you realized that's not good for you, or maybe what you even, you know, do mentally?
Yeah, for sure. Because this is how I realized it too, bro. Because I think it's a good thing when the 10% of hate bothers you, and I'm gonna break this down, because you're not used to it. And to me, that says a lot about who you are and what you do. Like, if you're used to getting love, like, you're gonna pay attention to something that's different. Like, what is, like, I'm seeing love all day and people supporting me or watching my stuff or liking what I do, or, you know, for me, it's like, oh, liking my post. So that's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. And so I think if you flip your mindset with that at first and be like, okay, like, obviously I'm doing something good. Because now if you had hate all the time, then you might need to look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? It might be something like, I was about to say something political, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna get political in here. But if you always are getting hate, there might be something truth to it. And so, like, we always gravitate to something that sticks out. So that was the first thing. But when I didn't realize that, I was struggling with it. Probably, bro, it had to, I mean, even with sports, probably first with sports when it was actually college and I had a bad game, a really bad game. And I had a great season, but I had like a stretch of 2 bad games and I dropped an important pass in the game. And so what did I do? We all used to go on, like, it's called Baylor fans. And like, it's like all the fans, which is probably the worst thing to do if you're an athlete. You go on the fans. I'm like, people are like, Trent needs to lose his scholarship. He sucks. Like, and these were people that last few weeks are like praising me. Like, he sucks. He dropped the ball, all these things. And it literally got into my mental. I'm like, dang, like, do I suck? Like, I'm not that good. Like, and it really like hurt me. And I actually talked to my head coach, and not my head coach, my position coach, and Harold Jackson. And he played in NFL for like 15, 16 years, and he broke this down. He said, for one, don't ever go to the press or don't ever go read stuff about you if you can, because he's like, this is the thing. He's like, if you live for their praises, you'll die by their criticisms. He's like, you got to be even keeled. Don't let it get you too high. Don't let it get you too low. And I had to realize that. And then what got me out of that is just reminding myself of the facts. It was like, I've had a great season. Everybody's going to have bad games. And I was like, and then too, like, who are they? They're in the stands. Like, they can't do this anyway. Like, they're spectators, like, whatever. And it just made me like realize that I'm only in control of what I can do, and no amount of hate can dictates my greatness at the end of the day. I think it's the love and support that you're focused on. So that's a great question. So yeah, guys, as you see, we're doing this like super different style, man. Like, I'm having my team ask me questions and people in here, and I think it's great. But as we wrap this up, and make sure you guys have questions, because I think the live Q&A and show up to it. The live Q&A is where we really dive in deep on these things. But I'm sure you got a lot out of it tonight, or today, whenever you watch it. But just my main points from today is understanding where hate comes from, understanding why they're hating you, and realizing that it can't stop you, right? Just realizing the truth of everything about your life, and just keep going, keep grinding. And again, if you want to be great, it comes with it. And everybody doesn't want that responsibility. I get it. So if you don't want people not liking you, want people saying stuff about you, critiquing your work, whatever it may be, don't put nothing out. Don't do nothing. But I don't believe that's what you were made for. Like I said, they even hated Jesus. They hated, Michael Jordan. They hate LeBron. Anybody great, they hate it. It's a part of it. You can choose to focus on that, or you can choose to focus on what moves you forward and choose to focus on the work that's helping and creating and changing the world. All right, so I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We will talk next month. It's rehab time. Let's get it straight up.